So what about the sloth? The sloth eats leaves and lives in trees. Pretty simple. This guy took 4 minutes to cross the road, so I thought I'd bring him here and show him to you. Basically, you know, in terms of augmented reality, you're probably thinking, what the hell does this mean? Objectified is one of my favorite new movies, a documentary that basically explains that outliers, or people who are way at the end of the spectrum, are the best design subjects. So they used a potato peeler example. Somebody with arthritis is that outlier, and they redesigned the potato peeler to make it work. For the sloth, you're going to have to either cut off his toes or wait until the iPhone evolves to work for him. Probably not going to happen. Yeah, the iMat's one of my favorite. And so people, what do people do? People, you know, we check in, we post, you know, we paste everything possible all over our maps. You know, the sloth does one thing. He climbs down a tree, has to poop, and either get to the next tree or go right back up. But he's really, really slow. I'm talking really slow. I was told I shouldn't act it out, but I have a video for you if you want to see it. Really slow. So basically, you know, what can work for him or her? I'd say, you know, if we got to the next slide, we could say the sloth potentially has some interesting things that AR could help them with. But what in particular is going to really, you know, help them out? Because there's a lot of crap AR apps out there. So let's see. Well, we already have AR in our daily lives. We don't really know it because we don't think about it that way. But you know, there's image scanning and barcode scanning, all that kind of stuff. But there's also the scrimmage line or the first down line in football. So we're already seeing that. So it's not that crazy. But we also have been watching movies since we were little kids expecting augmented reality because we know we're all going to have heads-up displays like we did in RoboCop, Terminator, Top Gun. Right? So okay. That being in place, that still doesn't solve a lot of problems here. I mean, if your design strategy is organize all the world's information, you don't have a design strategy. So what's going to actually impress Morgan Freeman here? Just because you can do it, Batman, doesn't mean it's going to work or be useful. So however I tilt this iPhone, or you know, seeing in grids is not helping you see. So if I tilt this thing or have a, you know, an altitude or a levitation, it's not going to make this guy any less hairy. So what are we doing here? If you look, there's a TAT, a new company that created an augmented reality app that puts social networks around your head. Thought that was kind of interesting. Not really going to help the sloth, but potentially we're on the right track. The wrong track is something like IDEO here, which I guess is about posting pictures of extinct animals on maps. Not really sure, but fun fact, the sloth, the ground sloth is actually extinct, which you might have seen on Conan. I don't know anything about science. I don't know why they're really extinct, but you know, there are a lot of reasons why it could go extinct, especially if NBC is involved. So. But what is useful about augmented reality? Well, I think presence potentially is useful. IBM has something called the Presence Server. It helps you locate people in a store if you buy it. Or you could just do it for free using Foursquare's People tab. That sort of presence is interesting because anybody remember the old mini arcade games when you were a little kid? When you boot up, you have every potential move on the screen. That would be really useful for the sloth who moves at like no miles an hour. So I think that, you know, the only way to stress, particularly, he has to get down the tree, poop, and cover it up before predators find him and trace him to the scent. So the best thing I could say is he needs a 5-day weather forecast. I mean, that's how long it takes him to do this stuff. So anybody see Lindsey Vonn right before she won? She proved that you can't go too far with preparation. I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but if you do, you should check out it online. So if the sloth, you know, there's nothing he can do to take the predator, to even scare the predators. The harpy, eagle, the jaguar, ain't going to happen. So maybe a push notification, so you know, when one of these fools comes in as geofence, it's going to be helpful. You're never going to know how bad the situation is going to be. See that guy in the tank top? Yeah, that's a pretty dangerous situation here. Now, I would say that you have to be careful. The sloth is crafty. He's creating the next generation AR app. And if you think you're going to get out there with your tank top and you're going to photosynthesize with your flash cameras all of his, luscious leaves for lunch, you're going to have to back up because, you're going to get that Guido tourist badge that you've been so hoping you didn't get.